Judas Priest, so give a big welcome to them! Okay, first question.
Why is he so fucking slow?
Hello, nice to see you.
Hello everybody, it's good to be back with you again. We were just saying, it seems like 2 minutes since we were last at the Sweden Rock when we were driving back up. And it's really exciting to be back at this wonderful festival. We really look forward to it, and we're going to have a great night tonight playing some of the best of Judas Priest heavy metal. So let's begin.
Hello, we're doing a documentary about the history of Swedish hard rock and metal. And Sweden, despite being a tiny nation, is often referred to as a major country when it comes to these genres. Would you say that this is the case, and how so?
Yeah, well, it's the diversity, you know, it's the diversity of these kinds of festivals. You've got every conceivable kind of hard rock and metal, and this has become a very, very significant place. The world is watching when you come to play in Sweden, whether it's the festival or anything else. So all we can say is thank you for making that happen, you know. It's you guys that make this type of event come together, especially the media. The media is very important to all of the artists that perform at any festivals, but particularly this one. So we feel that Sweden Rock is here to stay.
Why would you say that there are so many allegedly successful bands from such a tiny nation as Sweden?
I just think that Sweden is a heavy metal nation, you know, like Britain really, you know, England. There's a lot of bands come from England, heavy metal bands. People don't just play metal, they live it, they believe in it. I think Sweden is the same. You know. Ritchie might answer that because he can speak fluent Swedish.
Thanks for that.
I lived in Sweden for a long time, so he knows.
But
yeah, no, Sweden is definitely a heavy metal country.
Hi, this is Sasha from Croatia. Just recently you announced 2 box sets. One is regular studio albums, and the second is the complete of all UK CDs, which is something very fascinating, and we are very thrilled to finally have it. And I was wondering, I believe you have in the vaults live recordings from the past tours, something like a soundboard or anything. Would you please release any of it as a box set or anything? And just one final touch to that question. There is ABC Radio Network broadcasted your concert from the Los Angeles Defenders of the Faith. And this is the most sought after item among the fans of Judas Priest. So please release it.
Thank you. We love the box sets, you know. You have to make them. You have to make them really special and worthy, because we know a lot of cover material that we've already released. So we work very hard with our label Sony and Columbia to make sure that we give the fans a real treat. You know, all of these box sets are like collector's items. They're all very important to us. We've got a lot of stuff, you know. You don't let it all go in one go. Eventually things filter through, and in some instances it's difficult sorting out licensing deals and this, that and the other. But in our art we're always thinking about the fans, you know, so as and when material becomes available we put it together and we release it, and especially that ABC, Defenders of the Faith.
Hello, my name is Fredrik Nilsson. I'm a journalist at Swedish television. As you probably well know, Blekinge used to be a rather vague region of Sweden, known as the Garden of Sweden. But now, the second time Judas Priest is headlining the festival, Blekinge is sort of starting to find its identity, and the festival has become such a huge success that among locals you just say Festivalen, and everyone knows what you mean. Mr. Halford, which of your Judas Priest songs do you think have contributed contributed most to this transformation of the southeast of Sweden, Blekinge?
Well, I think we always include a track like Victim of Changes from Sad Wings of Destiny, because I think that's got a lot of the elements of metal. You know, it's got the big sledgehammer riffs, it's got the quiet section, it's got amazing lead breaks, it's got the screaming vocals. So you've got a little bit of every texture that we love about heavy metal music sung. And so we'll be playing that tonight. That's become like a classic in the preset.
Hi, this is Daniele from Rock Hard Italy. Would you please recap the events of the past few months, because there's been lots of things said. First it was said that this was going to be your final tour with Kenny Downing. Now Kenny's not part of the band anymore. And also I have a question for Glenn. How does it feel to turn around and see that Kenny's not there and another person is in the band now?
Obviously, you know, it's different. Ken's been a big part of the band for nearly 40 years, and we did think it was the end of the band until we found Ritchie, and it was that simple, you know. A lot's been said about it, we've said it all now. Ken left 7 months ago, and we thought it was the end of the band, and then we discovered Ritchie. The guy's just amazing, you know. He stepped into the band, he's blended into the band. I've said it many times, he captures the essence of the solos, but he does it in his own way, which you'll see tonight. And he had a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and he's just coasted through it, you know. So it's different, but you won't be disappointed. You'll enjoy it tonight.
Hi, Daniela from Sweden Rock Magazine. It's a question for Ritchie, actually. You found yourself in a little bit of a difficult or unusual situation where you joined a band that announced like a farewell tour. That's not a usual thing to do. So, what are your thoughts on your immediate future? I mean, if the band is retiring, what do you think that you're going to be doing the next 5 years or so?
Can I just say that we don't plan on retiring. This is our last. Who wants to go fucking Judas fucking Priest? We've said that this is our last world tour. It takes a chunk out of your life, 18 months. We won't be doing any more world tours as such. And you know, in many parts of the world it'll be the last time people get a chance to see us. But we're not going to stop. We've got an album in the can now. We will start to write with Ritchie. There will be more albums, and who knows, there might be a string of dates that we can manage to do. We're just not going to do another major world tour. We've been doing it for 40 years, and it's time to let the younger bands have a chance. So now ask Ritchie the question, because it's slightly different.
Well, that was part of the plan, really, to keep them going. So I heard about the farewell tour first, and when I got the call, I thought, this is my job, you know, I've got to keep the band going. So it seems to be working. So.
Great news. Further questions, please.
Roger here from Festivalplass in Norway. You're going to Norway, obviously, Bergen and Oslo. And I forgot the question. Rock on, guys.
Well, we never heard how exactly you found Ritchie. It was like, what, one phone call? Or... It was
a very mysterious metal underground way of doing it. Obviously, we had to keep this very close to our chests, and it was emotionally and psychologically, it was a very, very difficult time for the band. So a lot of things were going on behind the scenes as far as looking for, you know, this guy here, Ritchie. I think he was like waiting out there somewhere in the metal mist, and we finally discovered him. There were other people that we approached, some of them friends of ours, some of them new talent. But as soon as we saw what Ritchie could do and hear what Ritchie could do, it was an instant no-brainer. You know, he loves metal, he's a fabulous guitar player, he's a huge Priest fan. So, you know, it came together in maybe this is what Nostradamus had planned for us, I don't know. We're just delighted that we've got this incredible guitar player in the band, and we're able to forge ahead and still keep making metal.
me again. Nostradamus was a great record in my opinion, but I wondered if it was a successful record from a commercial point of view, and what should we expect from the next record? If it's going to be something in the same vein, or are you going more to this normal song concept?
We've actually started to write. We started to write before Ritchie joined the band, myself and Rob. So we've written quite a few songs, but we intend to write more now, collaborate, you know, as a trio sort of thing. The songs we wrote were typical Priest, classic kick pedal, Metalizer was one of them. Another one which was just a tribute to all our fans to say a big thank you. And a couple of anthems on there do just that. They're our way of saying thank you for the fans that have been with us through all the years. But it'll be a fast and furious Priest album, you know, that's what we love, that's what we do, that's what we want to write, to record and perform. So it won't be different, it'll just be typical Priest, and but with good songs on there. We always base the importance, every song has to be good, you know, it has to have a lot of character, otherwise we put it on the shelf.
Can I just follow that up by saying that as far as the commercial side of success, obviously that's important to us, but that's something that I don't think anybody in metal really strives for. The great thing about heavy metal in rock and roll is it's still looked upon as a bit of an underdog. It still gets kicked around a bit. We like it that way. You know, once we get accepted, I think things will get fucked up. So we like to be a heavy metal band and do the things that we want to do, that we know our fans want to hear. Musically, we were very satisfied with the way that Nostradamus came out. It was a challenging piece of music to put together, you know, almost 2 hours of the music over 2 years to make it. But it was that concept record that we've told you about that we always wanted to do. And thankfully our manager Bill Kirbishley provided us with the idea, and so we were able to make it. But yeah, commercial is the bad word in metal.
Now a question for Ritchie. If you could tell me, because I can say so, but pretty big shoes to fill in, and I was wondering how do you feel about playing Mr. Downings parts, and was it hard to learn, and did you learn them before you joined the band, you played them before, or you just learned it right now?
Well, in reference to filling KK's shoes, they're big shoes to fill. He's an influence on my playing. You know, I'm a great fan of him and the band and the guitars in general. You know, so but I knew I'm not going to try and, you know, I'm standing where he was, but I'm not taking anything away from anything he ever done. You know what I mean? So I know what I've got to do as a fan, and as now a member of the band. So, and I forgot what else you said. I knew some of them. I knew some of them already. Obviously, as a fan, I knew some Priest songs. I learned them growing up, and there were some which I didn't know. Some of the stuff that's on some of the earlier records that we're doing as part of the set, I had to learn. So, you know, I knew some, and I got to learn some new ones as well. So it was a great experience, really.
Sorry, I have lots of questions for you. During your career, you were very successful, one of the most successful band in the world, not only in the metal world. And in your past, you had one very high peak in your career, and that was US Festival. And now American Idol. Can you make a parallel of these two events?
No, I mean, that's what's so wonderful about what we've been doing for the last 40 years, you know. I guess it's part again of the tradition of heavy metal. You've got to pay your dues, you know. You've got to get in the van and drive to a club and set the gear up and play, and then take the stuff down and drive back home and, you know, do a day job, whatever. And so when you do get these highlights in your career, like that particular the US Festival or the Live Aid one, Donington, we just did American Idol in front of 30 million people, you know. You don't expect these things to happen. They're just part of what you do in terms of growth and development. You can't sit down and go, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, because it doesn't work that way. It comes to you slowly. So when these big moments do happen, I think you're more gratified, you know. You enjoy them more. because when you get to that moment, you feel to some extent that you deserve to be there, but you're able to back it up. So there's loads, you know, there's just tons and tons of memories that at some point I guess were put down in the unwritten book.
The Defenders of the Faith album is the greatest album in my world. And what are your feelings for that album? And are you gonna play some songs from that album tonight?
Yeah, we're playing the Sentinel off that. We're playing a song tonight, at least one song off every album. Obviously, you know, it's the Farewell World Tour, so we really got to put a lot of the old favourites in there. We got a lot of feedback from our webpage. We requested what people really wanted to hear, so we put a set together based upon that, plus playing one song from at least every album. And we're doing stuff that we haven't played before, such as Never Satisfied, Blood Red Skies, Starbreaker. I think we did play that many years ago, Nightfall. So there's a real mixed bag, but our mission really was to play at least one song off each album, each era. And we tried to pick the songs that everybody wanted. And obviously they'll always want Painkiller, they'll always want Hell Bent for Leather, you know. So we've got so many songs, it's very difficult to choose. Somebody's always disappointed, but you know, I think we've covered most of them.
And I was thinking about the heavy metal non-stop from the Dortmund in 1983. It was a great performance.
Hi, I'm Lisa from the local newspaper, Kristianstadsbladet. My question to you, you're retiring from the world circuit touring. What's been the most memorable moment while touring, and of course what's been the least memorable moment? And thirdly, what's been the most memorable moment here at Sweden Rock Festival?
Did you say the least memorable? I can't remember it. Can't remember that. I'll have to go in there. I think Live Aid was, the Oz Festival, Live Aid were two pinnacles, you know, Live Aid particularly is for a great cause. And our mission's always been to fly the flag for heavy metal, you know, wherever it may be, to promote heavy metal, to widen the margins of acceptability for heavy metal so younger bands can step in there. That's always been our mission, and those were two occasions which did that.
I was going to say, memorable moments are generally the first time you get to visit a country. You know, it's fresh, new, making new friends, seeing new places, you know, and a lot of those are very memorable over the years.
Any memories, Scott?
My special memories.
Amsterdam 2 nights ago.
Actually, Ritchie just went to Amsterdam for the first time. See how I passed the buck and made him under the bus? But the first time coming to Europe, obviously I'm an American and the only Yankee in the band, and the first time I came to Europe was a big thrill for me because, again, being a longtime heavy metal fan, which I still am to this day, I knew that, you know, especially England with Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Judas Priest, the Beatles, for God's sakes, that to me was like, you know, the music capital of the world. And for me to, be able to join a British band was an honor and a thrill, and still is. And to come to Europe for the first time, because I had never been out of my own zip code, you know, I was a fucking hillbilly from Virginia somewhere. So coming to Europe in general and playing things like Sweden Rock it's the fucking shit.
I'm sorry if it's again a question on Ken, but I was wondering if there is any particular reason why he has left the band. Was it just tired of touring? Was it health reasons or anything else?
I don't think any of us will really know. I mean, you probably read what he put on his website about saying that he just felt that if he was to stand on the stage not for the right reasons, then that was the wrong thing to do. And that's a really sincere thing to say. When you walk out on stage tonight in front of those thousands and thousands and thousands of fans, you want to be there, you know, you want to be able to play. None of us really understand the true reasons, because we've all got different theories, you know. I think what we would really love everybody to focus upon now is that this is a great time to celebrate for Judas Priest. This is a farewell. We don't want people to be depressed or sad. We want people to rock out, have a great time, enjoy seeing this amazing guitar player, Ritchie, with us in the band now, and just live the metal.
Okay, now something completely different. Recently you have released this anniversary edition of British Steel album, and I was wondering, are there going to be any other anniversary editions, something like that?
Well, here's the thing, you know, there was a period where we were doing an album every single year. I don't know how we did that. We'd do a world tour, we'd have 2 weeks to catch our breath, and then we'd have to go in the studio and make another album. So, you know, as we were doing the British Steel tour, somebody was saying, you know, Screaming for Vengeance is coming up, that's an anniversary, Painkiller's an anniversary. I think we've just run out of time, you know. We really have run out of time to a certain extent. So that's what's so special about this set list. At least we're trying to do a little bit of everything for everybody. It's not the way we would like it to be, which we were all 30 years younger, but then we wouldn't be doing anniversaries, would we? So we'll leave it as it is.
When you were making plans for this farewell tour, did you at least in one moment consider getting Ripper as some kind of guest for the shows, something like that?
Anything could happen, you know. I mean, that's a nice idea. Maybe it will happen when we do the American dates. Maybe you'll step up on stage and do a song. You know, it's a disciplined show, you know, with not only our performance, but we've got all these people working behind the scenes to make it run like clockwork. But it's still rock and roll. So, you know, who knows? You have to be there, I guess.
Well, it's time for a final question.
Okay, now since Ripper was mentioned, I was wondering, how do you feel about singing the songs that you were not participating in while they were created? I mean, because I suppose there are some Ripper songs in the set list now.
What we wanted to try and do, and this is no disrespect to Ripper because he's a great singer, he's a great friend of mine personally, he's a fellow metal singer, is we looked at the list and we really wanted to try and concentrate on all the important classic moments of the band. If we put this song in, we're going to take this song out. And so it was very difficult, like a jigsaw, to make it happen, you know. But yeah, I mean, as we say, this isn't the end, and maybe next time when we come around we'll be covering some of those tunes.
That's it. Thank you very much, Judas Priest!
Thank you so much.